Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Meditation, we will do the loving kindness meditation tomorrow, the second time. Meaning about the small I am getting merged in the big I. I have explained it after I spoke about it. Next day again I have explained. When we deeply inquire into the I, what does the big I swallow up the I am? Big I is the Jiva. I am, small I am is the... A big I is Ishvara swallowing the Jiva. Huh? When you allow your personality to merge in the pure awareness. Huh? Don't try hard. If you try hard, it won't happen. You have to allow it to happen. So, it is like observation without being an observer. You have to see it with the clarity of thought. Like hearing. Hearing, does it take place or do you hear? You examine that. So, it is very clear that you do not hear. Hearing takes place. Right? Therefore, the kartrutvam, the sense of I is gone. Hearing takes place. You are following that? Yeah, you will also follow. Yeah. Pilgrimage is not necessary for a jnani. Atma tirtham param tirtham. This is the pilgrimage. What else is the pilgrimage? When there is God here, you take the inner pilgrimage. Yeah. Outer pilgrimage is only a preliminary step to the inner pilgrimage. Just like one day I have explained in detail how the worship of God in an outer image can be a stepping stone to the final realization of God in one's own heart. Very similar way. Following pilgrimage is customary to following places. Customs are what? Customs are based on some understanding sometimes, beliefs sometimes, superstitions also sometimes. So, there was a gentleman who had the habit of doing Satyanarayana Vratam one time in a year. That is how people are, very worldly. One time in a year he will do. And once he started it, he is afraid if he skips it, Satyanarayana Swami will become angry. He won't be angry. Suppose you stop doing namaskar to sun, will he be angry with you? No. But that is how it works. And then he has a custom, the family custom. The custom is, just before starting the vratam, he has to catch hold of a cat and imprison it in a basket. And then he has to do the vratam. Now, why this cat? Because his father was doing it. And his grandfather also was doing it. And when he was a kid, he noticed that his great-grandfather also did the same way. And his father told him that this is our vamshachara, this is our custom. So what is that? You got the point? Therefore, customs, etc., you have to think, you don't want to think. That's why you call it custom, tradition, etc. Do you think there is a spiritual significance? If you see spiritual significance, if you understand it correctly, then there is spiritual significance. If you don't understand, follow blindly a custom, then there is no spiritual significance. 12 Jyotirlingas. You are the Jyotirlinga. Atma is the Jyotirlinga. Jyotihi is Atma Jyotihi. Jyotisham Jyotihi. Param Jyotihi. This is Chandogya Upanishad. We are Vedantins. We are not pilgrimage people. For us, Atma is the Jyotirlinga. And the Atma, which is the Jyotirlinga, which is here, it is there in a few other places also, as an outside image. Yeah. Image is image. Atma is the Jyotihi, real Jyotihi. Everything else is, the outer thing is only an image. Naimisharanya. Vyasa, Dergham will not be there. Vyasa is a Pumlinga, not Strilinga, like Rama. So Vyasa. Naimisharanya, Vyasa, place of stay, and bath is a pond with unmeasured depth. You can go and measure the depth. Don't say unmeasured depth. Somebody says like that. Nobody can measure the depth. You believe it? You should not. You can go and measure the depth. Nowadays, you see, there is no unmeasured depth. There are some trenches within the ocean which are deep by a few miles, and they are all measured. So what about a pond? And in India, this is called Sthala Puranam. Nothing to do with Vyasa. Sthala Purana. You see, when I was a kid studying Sanskrit and all that, so there was a temple in a nearby village, all villages, tiny villages. But at that time, that is our life. So a small village, and in that there is a Shiva temple. And there was a function, some puja, etc. So I went there. I used to go for such things, So there they gave a book. It is the book written in Sanskrit verse about that temple. That is a 100-year-old temple. But there is a Puranam about the temple. It is called Sthala Purana. And it says, Parashara Maharshi came to that village and worshipped Shiva there. And then there is a small pond full of murky, stagnant, bad-smelling water. And Vyasa took bath in that water. That is Purana. So it was in Sanskrit. And so we had the habit of reading anything which is printed. That is the habit. Never allow it to slip your sight. Anything which is printed, you pick it up and read it. That was in Sanskrit, and we used to know Sanskrit quite well. So I was reading it, and I understood all of it, not an issue at all. And I told my father, Father, I got across a document written by Vyasa. He said, is it? What is that? This is No, that is Sthala Purana. Vyasa did not write it. Somebody writes and calls it Vyasa Virachitam. Vyasa is not a person. Vyasa doesn't write Purana. Whosoever writes Purana is Vyasa, a Volta. Therefore, and in every place, you hear the Purana that they have a pond there. Very dirty pond. They don't keep it properly. And you can see it is green with moss and all that. And if you don't take care, you will slip. Very dangerous ponds. And lots of bacteria. Microbiologists can have a PhD on that water. So, and they say, Parashara Maharshi took bath here. Janaki Devi took bath there. Or Draupadi came and took bath here. She sat under this tree. Like that they say. Everywhere. Not only in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, in here also they say. Here there is a trail. They say this is the trail by which Dharmaraja went. Like that. The trail like that. And he went to heaven. So you go up to a height and then go to heaven. In Jerusalem, they have a place called Al-Aqsa Mosque. And so Prophet Muhammad, so the story goes that he came there and went to heaven by a horse. And therefore that place is very sacred, where there is a mosque called Al-Aqsa Mosques. These are called myths. Every culture, every religion has its own myths. And you have to take them for their spirit. Bath at Chitrakoot. Chitrakoot is one such places. You write Bath at Chitrakoot, you should write Bath at another 105 places. Not one Chitrakoot. Bath at Rishikesh, Bath at Haridwar, Bath at Triveni Ghat, Bath at Vyasa Guha, Bath at Parashara Guha, Bath at Vamadeva Guha, so you have to take all those baths. So don't give too much importance to all that. Bath at Kumbha events. Kumbha is a social event. I don't know much about it. And it is like in South India it is called Pushkaram for the river. And in North India it is called Kumbha. That is how I thought. If I am wrong, you please correct me. It is one such pilgrimage thing. If you have belief in it, you are welcome to that. But take care. How is the water and all that? Be careful about those things. Don't rush into these things And then you have to be, if you have a good immune system, you are okay. Otherwise, you are likely to become sick. I mean, if the immune system is not so good, we Indians, we are strong immunity. We have strong immunity. But if the people, you see, one gentleman in New York, he was in New York, some Queens or somewhere. I knew him. He declared, why should he declare? But he declared, I am going to Hrishikesh and I will stay there only and perform penance. Why should he declare like that? He should silently come, No, he declared. All people clapped. I too clapped. So he came here. He took a flight to Delhi, and our Swamiji made arrangements to come here, and he came here. And he stayed here 1 week and became sick. He picked up some bacteria, and he became sick. Right away he became sick. I don't know. He said he took a bath in Ganga and became sick. In those days, Ganga was not as clean as it is today. He became sick. And then he never recovered from that sickness here. So he changed his idea, and this tapas in Hrishikesh and all that he gave up, and he went back to New York. And then he became all right. Therefore, be careful. Be careful and be rational. And this is the world of science. You should know science. Basics of science you should know. The entire science you need not know. Some basics of science you should know. And you should have scientific temper. You see, nature doesn't respect your beliefs. It doesn't respect personalities also. Nature is the most indifferent thing it is. The most indifferent. Even if Sakshat Shankaracharya comes and steps on a banana peel, he will slip and fall. Nature is like that. Therefore, respect the nature. Understand the nature. And then take steps accordingly. How is your journey started in Vedanta? My journey, it is not my journey, it's a journey. So it started with childhood, it started. Who influenced the most? Anyway, a personal question, I don't mind asking. My father, who was a Vedanta Visharada, Rashtrapati Sammana Grahita Mahamahopadhyaya, Brahmashri Rani Narasimha Shastri. So he was a Vedanta scholar. So he inspired. There was Vedanta at home all the time. Vedanta, practical Vedanta in my mother, I have seen it. And Vedanta, scholarly Vedanta, of course my father was also practical as well as scholarly. So there was Vedanta at home. And then I studied Veda with a Ghanapati and Kameshwara Ghanapati. And then studied Sanskrit language and literature and Alankara Shastra and grammar, Vyakarana Shastra with Brahmashri Kumpella Subraya Shastri, a great scholar. So, and then Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati. These are the inspirations. Books, Swami Vivekananda from the very childhood. The autobiography of Swami Vivekananda by Chirantanananda Swami, in Telugu it was there. That was the inspiration from a very early age. And then that was in very pure Telugu, classical Telugu. Later they made it less difficult Telugu. But in those days, the Telugu translation was very classical by Chirantanananda Swami. And only those who have good background of Sanskrit can make out that Telugu. But we don't have an issue with language. Telugu and Sanskrit, classical, was like child's play for us. And so we used to read that book. And then later, Ramayanam, Srimad Ramayanam. And then Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, for the Vedantic content of it, not for the stories. And then Nisargadatta Maharaj is a classic, I am that. And then Swami Ramatirtha's in the woods of God realization. But before all of this, Shankara Bhashya. Shankara Bhashya is like you are looking into the heart of Shankara. It is a window to the heart of Shankara. And Shankara Bhashya is like Shruti. and the most inspiring thing. But that is possible only when you know very good Sanskrit. If any little Sanskrit doesn't work, because you will not be able to make out the nuances of Bhashya Rachana. So for that you should know, you should have very good strong Sanskrit background, and then Shankara Bhashya can inspire you like anything. Do you think going to is a kind of acceptance even in the field of Vedanta also? Why acceptance? It's an opportunity, it is a privilege, and it's a blessing. You see very many cultures and understand the inflections of various cultures. That expands your thinking. And otherwise we will be sitting in a narrow confines of our own silly belief systems. Instead of that, you get exposed to the Western cultures. They are all very wonderful people. US society is the knowledge society. In India, nobody encourages excellence, knowledge and all those things. Here the society is entirely based on caste, creed and etc. Whereas in America, nobody asks you what is your caste or creed or race or religion. It is all knowledge based. You have knowledge, they respect you. You show me where it is so. You show me one place in India where you have knowledge and therefore you are accepted. Very difficult. There are places, but very tough. There may be historic reasons for all that. I am not going into the details of that. But the US is a great opportunity. I was a bit ambivalent whether to go or not. In fact, I was hesitant to go and stand in a queue. In those days, you have to go to Chennai. No embassy or consulate in Hyderabad. So I had to travel to Chennai by train whole night and then stand in the queue. No appointment, internet and all that. You just go and stand in the queue and try your luck like that. And you have to go early morning 3 o'clock and stand in the queue to get a chance. And then you get crash and enter inside. I was hesitant, but Pujya Swamiji told you do that. One time you do it. So I have done it. And then I consider it as a great blessing and a great opportunity. I am the beneficiary because I am exposed to a wonderful, wonderful knowledge systems and people, universities. I traveled to many universities and gave lectures in the universities, and then a variety of students, and they made us very privileged. They give us a learning opportunity. What they learnt, I don't know, but I have learnt a lot from them. Therefore, it is all a blessing. There is no tolerance or any such thing. People fear being impersonal. Isn't that merely a conceptual fear? Come on, you want to give a label to the fear? Okay, the fear is fear. And they are afraid of light, they are afraid of knowledge, they are afraid to see the truth. That is the fear. Fear is fear. Why do you consider conceptual fear? When you make an expression, it should carry some important meaning. Kind of the mind thinks, if I lose myself, I am not anymore in control. Yeah, kind of. Or who will take care of my family, or I will go crazy. Maybe. Maybe. We define the fear as the fear of being impersonal. Because when you know the truth, you will not be there. It's not that you know the truth and then you celebrate and start jumping and shouting. When you know the truth, you will not be there. Suppose somebody is jumping and shouting, I have known the truth, then believe me, he doesn't know the truth. There is a statement in Vedanta. In Vedanta, ज्ञान होता है, ज्ञानी नहीं होता. ब्रह्म ज्ञान होता है, ब्रह्म ज्ञानी नहीं होता. You got the point? The self-realization is there, but there is no self-realized person. Ban on cow slaughter. Your comment, what is my comment to do with it? I am a very simple sadhu. Mahatma Gandhi wanted ban on cow slaughter. And ban on cow slaughter is one of the directive principles of our constitution. So we should follow it. That is the comment. You see, if a chief minister or a big official of the government or if a prime minister makes a comment, it will have value. Yes, I make a comment and you all listen or clap, what will happen by that? But anyway, you asked a question and I have answered. What is Sri Chakra and Sri Chakra Upasana? It is a tantra. It is an upasana which is mostly dualistic. But there are elements of Advaita in it, if you pursue them. But these upasakas, instead of looking at the elements of Advaita in Sri Chakra or Sri Vidya, it is called Sri Vidya Upasana. Sri Chakra is one part of it. It's a geometrical diagram. So, I know all of it. I studied it also. And in those days I wrote a book related to that also in Telugu. So, but you have to pay attention to the non-dualistic thinking that is inherent in that upasana. But people, they pursue it for gaining some powers and all that. That makes it very, very undesirable. And even if they are not doing it for any power, even if they are doing it without of sheer bhakti, they do it in a dualistic way. Therefore, that also is a problem. But if these issues could be overcome, means you don't do it for any power, and you try to understand the dualistic, non-dualistic philosophy behind the worship, and then provisionally you worship in the right way, without becoming a victim of the Vamachara. There is Vamachara in it. All kinds of Vamachara are part of that Tantra. So, like offer whiskey to the goddess, that kind of a thing, and dance this and that, and then go into a totally wrong direction. Those elements are there in it. If you keep totally away from it, some of the big Pithadhipatis are victims of these elements. If I take name, you don't like it. They follow this Vamachara. Some of the Pithadhipatis. So, if you go into that line, it is very bad, very undesirable. If you carefully avoid all that, and you avoid the tantric aspects of it, in which you seek powers and all that, and you rise above the dualistic elements that are very prevalent in it, and use it as a means for realizing this self, non-dualism, then it is okay. So you have to put so many conditions around it. Why not worship Rama? Why do you want a big complex upasana? Worship Rama. Are prema mudita manase kaho Rama, Rama, Rama. Very, very simple. People want complex things, you know. So there is a saying in Sanskrit, Saralam na rochate, Kathinam na pachyate. If you give a simple thing like Rama, people don't like it. They want a very complex thing it is. So 5 upward triangles, 4 downward triangles, if I start like that, they will be very impressed. Oh, what a scholar he is. So, but if you say simply Rama, people do not get impressed by that. But if you tell them some real good Vedanta, it becomes hard, and so they cannot digest it. Wo hajam nahi hota. They cannot digest it. Simple thing you tell, they cannot, they don't like it. Your own mind is like that, very complex. Chaitanya, should we do any japa etc. as a Chaitanya? Should we do any japa etc. any dress code? Dress code first. Wear a simple dress. And don't use a dress to attract the attention of people. Don't use a dress to impress people. Don't use a dress to mislead people. Don't do all that mischief. Wear the dress according to your practical situation. You wear it and make it simple. Not only dress, you should live a simple, orderly and disciplined life, which includes dress. Dress is a very small part of it. You don't need a code for a dress. You don't need a code. Why do you need a code? What I said just now, that should be enough. Should we do any japa? You should, etc. What is etc.? So japa I will answer. You may want to do japa. Japa is also one of the important disciplines which people follow. But then you have to understand the pitfalls associated with japa and try to rise above those issues that could be there with japa. And if you get stuck, it is a bondage. If you move forward using it as a stepping stone, it is a blessing. That applies to japa also. Can one remain as a Chaitanya forever? Yeah, you are Chaitanya forever. You need not remain Chaitanya forever. You are Chaitanya forever, but unfortunately, people identify with the physical body and take them to be physical entities. You are not a physical entity. If you think and feel as a physical entity, you are committing the gravest possible mistake, which can lead to countless calamities in life. If you look at yourself as a physical entity, if you think like that and if you feel like that, you are in serious trouble because you are identifying with an ever decaying physical body. So all the decaying of the physical body translates as one's own decaying, which is not the truth. Therefore it is the greatest calamity in a person's life. That is how people are afraid, they are worried, they are constantly worried, and they are running after all kinds of superstitions, because firstly they identify with the body. So what is the need for this position? What is the need for this position? What is this position? Can one remain as a Chaitanya forever? You are the Chaitanya. What is the need for this position? The need is that you be what you are. That is the need. You don't be other than what you are. So you should have Atma Anatma Viveka. You should put the question more precisely. Is enlightenment personal? No, it is not personal. I told you, be warned that after enlightenment you will not be there to celebrate. So take it as a warning. And so you want to retain your persona, then don't come anywhere near Atma Jnanam and all that. Go after some superstitions and beliefs, etc. They will strengthen your persona and you can keep it. Meditation will bring enlightenment, yes. Yes. Man dhyayanta upasate. Shri Krishna says, and that is the verse that came to my mind just immediately, but there are a lot more verses where, see what Shruti says, you should pay attention to it. You have to examine it yourself. You should not go by beliefs and what this person said, what that person said. You look at the Shruti, Atmavare drashtavyaha, you should know the self. So how to go about it? Shrotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitavyaha. Now what the sequence has a meaning there. First Shravanam, then Mananam, then Nididhyasanam, and then nothing else after Nididhyasanam. What does it mean? It means Shravanam leading to Mananam, ultimately culminating in Nididhyasanam, which is meditation. Very clear. You may be, unless you develop some cleverness and try to misinterpret it this way, that way, otherwise be an innocent person with a simple mind, look at it, that is what it is. It is like to go to Delhi, take a taxi, go to Haridwar station, take a train and go to Delhi. So first you take train or first you take taxi? Taxi. First you take taxi, last train. Right? That Vakya is like that. Okay? What is Nitya Karma? Nitya Karma is a daily worship of Ishvara in the morning and evening. That is called Nitya Karma. So both morning and evening. Sandhya Vandanam. Vandanam is worship of Ishvara. during the Sandhya, the twilight time. 2 of them. So, but in modern times people don't have time in the evening, therefore they may restrict it to morning only. If you impose it, they may not do it. If they miss it, they will have guilt. Whereas morning, you don't have any reason to miss it, unless you keep late into the night. Why should you keep late into the night? If you are a yogi, early to bed and early out of bed. That is what yoga is. By 7:30 you finish your dinner, and by 9:30 you are almost into bed. 5 minutes this way, that way. And by 5 maximum or 5:30 maximum you are up. And therefore there is no reason to miss morning Sandhya. You may have a reason to miss the evening Sandhya, that is up to you, but morning Sandhya you don't want to miss. And then there you do a prayer. That is the Nitya Karma. What is the nature of the prayer? You have to decide it. You may take the help of a teacher or a guru, whatever, and then decide the nature of the Nitya Karma that you do. Like Gayatri Japam, welcoming the rising sun, or lighting a lamp before the altar that you have at home, or doing some japa other than Gayatri. Surya Namaskar is very good. It has many elements in it. Surya Namaskar is a daily morning prayer, it is pranayama, and it is asana also. All the 3 are included in it. If you do 5 Surya Namaskars, you have done your physical exercise, you have done your pranayama, and you have done your Nitya Karma also. All the 3. It is 3 in 1. So some such thing you have to choose. Surya Namaskar, these heavy set people who never did any Surya Namaskar will not be able to do it. They will have back pain from the next moment onwards. And they go to the doctor. Therefore it may not work for everybody. But if you can do it, nothing like that. So some such thing, Nitya Karma. Naimittika Karma, if you are there, but I recommend only one. That is Pitru Karma. Deva Pitru Karyabhyam na pramaditavyam. Deva Karya is the Sandhya, Nitya Karma. Pitru Karya is the Naimittika Karma. That is how it was conceived originally, but then they added a few more to the Naimittika. Some of them are very valid, like a guest comes to your home. You make some arrangement for his food. That is Naimittika. Guests don't come every day. Occasionally they come. And they come without notice. That was the earlier days. Notice means there were no telephones and all that, So you will know about him coming only after he arrives. Therefore, in such a situation, you receive him with love, and you may have to put in some extra effort to make the day comfortable for the guest, and carefully send him his way. That is Naimittika Karma. Yeah. But that is occasional, and the Shraddha is regularly occasional. That is irregularly occasional, that is. So some such karma.
Swamiji, now we have a chair, Surya Namaskar.
Yeah.
People who cannot do standing.
Chair Surya Namaskar is there, good. Yeah. It is good. Like those who cannot sit cross-legged on the floor are sitting in the chair, So like that there is chair Surya Namaskar. And it is very well developed by Yoga Center, Vivekananda Yoga Kendra, that university, Yoga University in Bangalore. It's a very authentic thing. And for asthma patients, there is a thing called chair breathing. And if they practice it, their asthma will be taken care very well. That inability to get enough oxygen, that will be addressed immediately with the help of a simple chair. There is a thing called chair breathing. So like that, chair Surya Namaskar. Advice on the performance of death rituals and Shraddha by a daughter. Daughter is eligible to do it. That is how the dharma was. In between the medieval period, some of it got distorted. In Arya Samaj, the daughter performs these obsequies even now. And a daughter can certainly do it. Shastra only, everything is Shastra. Vedanta doesn't talk about obsequies and all that. You get it from Karma Kanda only. Shraddham daughter can do. Obsequies also daughter can do. Death rituals, Shraddham also daughter can do. You see, if the son is there and if the son is doing, the daughter can join him. Or if the daughter wants to do all by herself, she can do also. It all depends upon a priest cooperating. If the priest cooperation is also not an issue, when you learn the Shraddha yourself. People do that. I knew one person, I was studying Veda. A young man, he came to study the Shraddha Kalpam with our Veda Pandit. Because his father died recently at that time. And therefore he wanted to know the Shraddha all by himself. He can still invite the priest and give dakshina to the priest. That part is great, nice. But he knows the entire kalpa himself. Therefore, if you know it, then a priest cooperates. Suppose priest doesn't cooperate, because many priests may not cooperate. Because they have their own belief system. They don't want a daughter to perform all these things, a lady to do all that. They won't come. Some of them may come, but mostly they won't come. In which case, you can do it yourself, like that. A daughter has a right to do it. How can one locate a priest willing to do this? You have to find out. For example, the priest who helps us to give sannyas, he doesn't entertain women. So if a woman wants to take sannyas, we have to find another priest. That priest won't entertain. This is a democratic country, There is no point in saying things against a particular person. That is how he is. He is born and brought up in a particular orthodox system and he is not willing to change. Are we willing to change? Therefore, it is not about being critical about a person. We have to find another priest who is willing to do that. Some of the Swamis don't give sannyasa to the ladies. Therefore, you have to find a Swami who is willing to give it. Like that. You have to find. That is also there. That context is different. You don't want to burden the children and want to make them free. Give them their share of property and tell them, you need not do my Shraddha, go and live your life happily. If that kind of renunciation takes possession of your mind, then you do it and be done with it. So that they need not do Shraddha to you, they are free. So if you have that kind of feeling, you can do that. People do that. That is our disadvantage. We don't know, that's why we don't know what they are doing. Suppose you know, you will know what the person is doing. So, we expect the priest to be knowledgeable, but we are not knowledgeable ourselves. We have to have the knowledge. You acquire the knowledge, then you will know what the priest is doing. So, it's a vicious circle. Because we don't know, therefore priests need not know. Priests don't know, therefore we don't know. Like that it is a circle, What is the origin of thoughts? Mind. What is the origin of mind? Atma. What is the origin of Atma? It has not originated. It is timeless. Timeless doesn't originate. Are they from memory? Yeah, thoughts originate from memory. Mind is memory. Mind is memory. Memory is mind. Pop up on their own accord or pop up on their own accord. You see, thoughts originate from memory on their own accord. Okay? They pop up on their own accord, but when they pop up from the memory. When we give light to a thought, or the four components of the mind, why do you want to bring all the four components of the mind into discussion? When you are talking about thought, origin of thought, what is that which lights up the thought? Thought is jada. Something else has to light it up. And what is that? That is the Atma. When you are discussing this, don't bring everything into it. Keep them clean, So like that, if you type like noodles, then there will be no clarity of thought. So manobuddhi ahankara chittani you have heard, so you want to put it in every place, not necessary. So when you are understanding thought, understand it correctly. Now, which are the four components of mind are involved in its cognition individually or severally? Now, that is an irrelevant question. Thought comes from mind, take it like that. Okay? If it is an emotional thought, then comes from mind. If it is an intellectual thought, comes from buddhi. If it is about me, then comes from ahankara. Like that. You have to. Story of Ashadabhuti. It's a simple story. Many of you might have heard it also. You see, there was a guru. And this guru, in those days they give gold coins as dakshina. And so there were no banks and all that. A modern guru would put a trust and put all the money in the trust. And so people think that it is in the trust. But then who signs on the check? He only signs, Very clever, I tell you. People are like that. So anyway, so this guru, he has to store his gold coins. He gets the gold coins as dakshina. He has to store them. And so he has one comforter, Comforter is a bit thick, and so it is stitched together. So he opens up the stitching at one point and pushes the gold coins into that comforter, into various compartments inside the comforter. And he always keeps the comforter on his shoulders because it is a cold country. And so you carry your comforter, and it will be weighing weight also. It will tell you whether you have all your gold intact or not. Like that he was carrying. And a Shishya understood this. Not a Shishya, one thief. One young man, he wanted to, he saw this. Unexpectedly he saw what is going on. So then he wanted to steal it. But then the guru is very cautious. He never gives a chance to steal this comforter. He is extremely cautious. And therefore this thief, he makes a plan. He comes as a Shishya. And he becomes a Shishya. To become a Shishya, it is not a big deal. You need not be a well knowledgeable person or any such thing. You put some marks on the face and put the appropriate dress and do Sashtanga, you are now a Shishya. So like that he became a Shishya. And started learning a few things also as part of his overall plan. And then one day he was traveling along with the guru. The guru gives his bag to the Shishya, but never the comforter. Comforter he carries on himself. The Shishya carries the bag. One day they went to a village and then took bhiksha. And after bhiksha they took a nap on the outer platform, guru and Shishya also. And after the nap they had a cup of tea and they are walking to the next village, wherever they have to go. Their own place they have to go, so they are walking. They go by walk. And the Shishya carries the bag and the comforter is on the guru's shoulders. In the meanwhile, a river came. A river or a canal, a small water body. And the guru's time for evening dhyanam and all that. Then the Shishya suddenly, Guru Maharaj, something most unwanted thing happened. A calamity has fallen on my head. That is how he exclaims. Then Guru was a bit surprised and stunned. Hey, what happened? What happened? You see, we slept on in their house. We took food and slept outside on the platform. unknowingly a blade of grass belonging to that family got stuck in my upper garment and now it is sitting here. It is there. It is their property, it came from their outer platform. I became a thief. This blade of grass, it is with me. If you give me permission, before you finish your evening puja and worship and all that, I will go by run and leave this blade of grass where it has stuck to my cloth and come back. That will give me a lot of peace of mind. Because I don't want to have even a blade of grass, literally other people's property with myself. Then the Guru tries to argue, not necessary, blade of grass is not a big deal. You have not, that too you have not taken purposefully, knowingly. So you should not worry about, no. Paradravyam is papam. I don't want even an iota of papa. Please permit me. And he doesn't wait for him to give permission and starts running. He runs at some distance and sits there under a tree for a while, takes rest and eats something there, and then comes back after a respectable time has passed, and then tells Guru Maharaj, Maharaj, I am saved. Now I am free and I feel light because that blade of grass I have left where I picked it up. Like that. Then the Guru thinks, this is a great person. His name is Ashada Bhuti. That is the name of that student. And next day morning, while he is taking bath, he hands over his bag to him, and this comforter is also becoming heavy because of the gold and all that. Now here is a student, who doesn't want to take even a blade of grass. And so he gives this comforter also to him, to safeguard. By the time the Guru goes to the river, takes bath and comes back, the bag was left behind. The bag doesn't have much except old clothes. And the Shishya disappeared with the gold comforter. That is the story. That's why the Shishya is called Ashada Bhuti. Black and white are opposites. What do you mean? What is it that you are trying to say? I want to know whether dark and light are opposites. You see, you mean black color and white color? They are not colors really. But if you want to take them as colors, black is opposite to white. If you say so, I don't have any objection. Then darkness and light are obviously opposite to each other. They are really opposites. Yesterday I have seen dark as dark and light as dark in the demonstration. That is fine. So what appears could be dark or light, but the one who sees is ever the light. That is you. So that is fine. Yeah. Is karma theory a belief? It's a belief. But not a blind belief. It is a belief which is supported by some logic. Like what? Like, suppose here is an engineer. And he is enjoying the life of an engineer.